Welcome to the Sojourn Wealth Management Podcast. My name is Jeff Bronner, and I'm here with my co-host, Corey Akins. Today, we have a very special episode for you. Corey, can you tell the people what we're talking about?
Yeah, we're going to dive into the world of college athletics.
Awesome. So, for those of you who are not familiar, our firm focuses on 4 primary specialties, and that would be educators, athletics, healthcare, and business owners. So, Corey, why college athletics?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, one, it's fun, right? Like it's a cool, ever-changing landscape. So you're not going to be kind of doing the same thing over and over again. Mm-hmm. That industry has obviously changed a lot, even within the past couple of years. When you think about NIL and just how the way that athletes are compensated. And so it's an interesting place to kind of focus. And so I've heard it said, interesting people are interested, right? Mm-hmm. So, I'm very interested in that. But the other part of it too is my granddad actually is from a small town in Mississippi. Like I think it had 300 people at the time of his life, and then still has 300 people today. So really, really small place. He grew up on a 3,000 acre farm, and he had the opportunity to go to college and play baseball. And because of that decision that he made, it impacted my life 2 generations later. Mm-hmm. And so it's a really important thing for me. Just, it gives people an opportunity to change the trajectory of their lives and then impact people who are going to come after them. So that's kind of the feelings behind it. I would say that, I love it. I love the people that I get to work with and hang out with.
So what are some of the things in college athletics? What are some things that, your clients will face in their profession, and how do you help them with that?
Yeah. Obviously, I mentioned earlier the changing landscape, right? So that includes changes in employment, right? So you're not ever promised the next day at a job, and so we've seen that a lot as far as turnover goes within athletics. So that's a challenge that I think people face. The other is just time. Mm-hmm. So it's a very demanding profession, and so because of that, what you see is people, and rightly so, they pour their time into it. But what happens is that other important things can sometimes get pushed to the side and not thought about, and really no fault of their own. It's just kind of the nature of it. They're just focused on being successful and doing their thing, right? And so it can lend itself to some important things like financial planning that just they get taken care of at later dates, right? So that would be the biggest challenge I think I see.
I remember listening to an interview with Lane Kiffin, and he was talking about his time under Nick Saban and what that was like. And he said that it was nonstop. There was never a break. They won the national championship, and it's like, all right, fellas, 7:30 in the morning, film study. See you there. It's just like, that's the reality of it. That's the culture of it. You're always competing every single day.
Yeah.
To win.
It's a what have you done for me lately industry, right? I mean, it really, really is. You can have somebody who's really successful one year, and then a couple of years later, they're no longer in that position. And so
that goes to that volatility point you were making. Either because the administration wants to go in a different direction, and so you got to find another job, or another opportunity presents itself.
Right.
Both of those can be contributing factors to that volatility component.
Absolutely. And that creates just challenges in and of itself. So I would say that's, what we've seen over the years.
How does, our firm's process alleviate or eliminate some of those challenges as they arise for clients?
Yeah, I think that we're really good about making things easy. And so we've always said, if you don't have the time, interest, or expertise to do it, and this doesn't just involve financial planning, but anything, right? Time, interest, expertise. If you lack one of those 3 things, you should outsource it. And for most of the people that we work with, it's the time and the interest. I think they'd have the expertise if they had the time or the interest, right? But those are the key components, and it's something that helps alleviate stress. So like when you outsource it to us and we can give you a clear vision of where you're at, and because we know the industry and have a lot of experience with athletic departments nationwide, we know pretty much how they operate from a financial standpoint and a planning opportunity standpoint. We can give you that clear vision so that if and when you do have to make a move or you go somewhere else, you're not stressing about the financial component. Like we're helping take care of that. And so then when you get to the next place, it's really plug and play. Like, okay, here's the vision. We're continuing with that intent. And this is now just another milestone in that journey.
And to the point of delegation, like that's how successful athletic programs operate.
Yeah.
Good ADs hire good coaches who hire good coaches under them. And then from there, you trust the people who are experts in their position groups or their specialty, and you let them run that well.
Yeah.
And so that's the same dynamic with financial planning, financial advising. So go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say that that is one component of it. I would say the other, I guess, side of it is just that it can be such a compressed career too, right? So many people work for many years to get to a certain level, right? Like let's just say a college football coach, right? Like a lot of time was spent trying to get to that level, and then typically there's less time at that level than what was spent trying to get there. And so what typically happens is that you come into a position where you're making a lot more money, but that is a compressed time period. And so you really have to maximize what you're earning in that time period. And so I would say that that's something that we also, we see that, and we're helping people, not have to continue on working longer than they want to and things like that.
So that actually is a perfect segue into my next question, which was what does retirement planning look like for someone in college athletics? What benefits do they have, and how do those work?
Yeah. So typically, when you go to an institution, and we'll just talk broadly, right? Like you go to a public institution and they have athletics, right? There's going to be options given to you, typically a pension plan or an investment plan, optional plan, something like that. And so the first thing I would say is that we can help you just understand the rules, right? So if you go somewhere and they say, hey, we've got this pension plan and this investment plan, you need to choose, and you need to choose within the next 21 days, and you have no idea what to choose. Well, pension sounds pretty good. And then you leave 3 years later and it's like, oh, well, hey, that pension plan had a 5-year vesting period. Like those are the things that the pitfalls that we can help you kind of eliminate so that it's efficient, right? You don't want to leave money on the table. So I would say that's kind of an easy one. The others are just very basic principles as well, right? Like making sure that we're spending less money than we're making, and saving money at a rate that is going to grow with our lifestyle, and really defining what you want that to look like from a financial planning perspective. And so there's a lot there that we can unpack with nuance and things like that. But it's one of the reasons that I went and got the Sports and Entertainment Accredited Wealth Management Advisor designation. And so there are unique challenges from tax planning to contribution limits. Should I have a 457 because of its more favorable rules when I leave versus a 403B and a 401k? Those very specific, nuanced situations that are client by client is the reason that I went and got that designation, and it's helped tremendously.
Yeah, absolutely. It's awesome to see the ways in which you utilize that to help clients. So if someone were listening to this podcast and they're in college athletics and they're not sure what to do next, or what would be your call to action or encouragement to them?
Yeah. I would just encourage them to make time. Not even just for this. I mean, like, financial planning is very important, but just like, it is very easy to kind of get into the grind, and like that's all that's all your focus is on. And I would just say that it is okay to take a season and come up and tackle some of these things, like whether it be financial planning or if there's other things that you're wanting to accomplish. My encouragement would be to carve that out so that later on down the road you don't regret that you didn't. And it's going to be a lot easier for you if you do it now than if you wait. So that would be my encouragement and hope for folks who are in that industry.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Corey, for unpacking all that for us and talking through that specialty that we have in college athletics. I look forward to unpacking more of these in later episodes, but for now, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Sojourn Wealth Management Podcast. This is a friendly reminder that all content in this podcast is intended for educational purposes alone. Nothing in this episode should be treated as tax, legal, or investment advice. We encourage you to consult your financial professional for any of those needs. Securities offered through Kestra Investment Services, LLC, Kestra IS, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Kestra Advisory Services, LLC, Kestra AS, an affiliate of Kestra IS. Kestra IS or Kestra AS not affiliated with Sojourn Wealth Management, LLC.